5 Vikings that could be a little scared the upcoming draft. All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar with Lupagus.
Hell yeah, and today we're going to talk about 5 current Minnesota Vikings who should be a little bit concerned when it comes to the draft. You know what? They should be more concerned. They should be downright frightened. Absolutely frightened. Before we hop in that, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the vids. We are just a pube away from 7,000 subscribers, so if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to do it. Hashtag 7,000 in the comments for our next drawing when we hit that beautiful mark. Definitely want to do it before draft day, and right now I'm feeling very confident we will.
Yeah, we're about $1.50 away, so if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, right over there.
Where is it?
Bing, 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 bing.
Push it.
So yeah, Vikings that should be a little worried. I mean, I can't think of anything worse than being a guy just kind of on the bottom of the depth chart come draft day, and it's round 2 and they draft your position. Ow!
And some of these guys might just be, moved to a backup role. Some might be actually, this might be their job that the new guy's coming to take. And I think the first guy on this list whose job is definitely in jeopardy right now is our safety, Josh Metellus. This guy was he's a 7th rounder, 6th rounder a couple of years back.
Really should have looked that up. I think 7th.
I think he was 6th, actually. He was one of those many Rick Spielman extra picks when he kept moving down the board. A guy who not only should be concerned when it comes to the safety, because the Vikings could definitely take a safety at 12. They could take it round 2. They could take it round 3. Also, from a special teams standpoint, the Vikings take some late round guys who are special teams demons. They could push Josh Metellus out of having any kind of role in this team.
Yeah, Josh Metellus has pretty much made it clear that he is special teams, and that is it, which makes him even that much more expendable. So this isn't losing a spot. This is flat out losing his job on the Minnesota Vikings, and not a great year because the safeties in this class, they run deep. They run deep. There's going to be guys in round 6, round 7 that can actually play safety. So Josh Metellus, wish you well on draft day. I don't like your chances.
He's going to invest in a whole bunch of Rolaids before the draft starts.
All right, next up, a guy that definitely I don't think he's in jeopardy of losing his roster spot, but Armond Watts, as of now, is kind of slated to be that starting defensive end. This is his moment. He's entering his 4th year and finally getting the reins handed to him. But also the Vikings definitely could be on the lookout for a defensive lineman early.
Yeah, if they go Jordan Davis at 1, that's going to probably bump out Harrison Phillips and Delvin Tomlinson to the ends, which puts Armond Watts to a backup role. And I got to be honest with you, though, I actually think Armond Watts is better suited for the backup spot. And I know he's in a contract year. He wants to have his big splash, but this guy does better coming off the bench, playing part-time. When he started, he hasn't been as effective. So Armond Watts, this could actually be a blessing in disguise for the Minnesota Vikings. Maybe not so much for Armond Watts, but I do like him a lot better when he's just playing, a handful of snaps a game.
Well, and let's be honest, it's going to take it's not just Jordan Davis. I mean, it could be a guy in round 2, it could be a guy in round 3, round 5 that pushes for his spot. Because like safety, there's some good defensive tackles in the mid rounds.
There is, and I do like Armond Watts. I think you do as well. I think he's still one of the underrated players on this roster, a guy who does make plays when he's out there. So he'll get on the field one way or the other. His role might be reduced depending on how the Vikings go and when they go on the draft when they hit this D-line.
Yeah, let's be clear. We like all these guys. We just should be a little scared. Well, maybe not this guy. Garrett Bradberry. He's definitely on the list.
We liked him about 4 years ago when he was drafted,
Loved
but
him.
not much since then. Yeah, this guy should be scared. I mean, everybody will be happy if he does actually get bumped. The Vikings do go early at a center, but a guy who just can't anchor. He cannot hold his own against big, strong defensive tackles. He gets pushed back into Kirk Cousins' crotch, and it happens every single game. He's tried to get stronger in the weight room. It doesn't work. His job should definitely be up for grabs, and I don't think the Vikings are going to hit center in round 1, but round 2, round 3, even a guy like round 5, if they get like a Cam Jurgens, I think could push Garrett Bradbury for his starting job. So definitely a guy who should be concerned.
You mean Beef Jurgens?
Yeah, Beef Jurgens. I want to get a pack of that.
Beef Jurgens. Yeah, I mean, Bradbury lost his job last year. But maybe we see a whole brand new Garrett Bradbury. Maybe we see a guy that comes in so pissed off, so motivated. We see a different one. But like you said, even in the mid rounds, Alec Lindstrom, Cole Strange, Donovan West, all these guys could push for him day 1. So Garrett Bradbury, I think out of this list, should probably be the most worried.
Yeah, he really probably should be. Again, I mean, like you said, though, I think any of these lower guys could actually come in and get his job. But you talked about him being motivated. Maybe this is the year. He did come back after he was benched after his COVID.
He's horrible.
He played a little better. I think it was for like a game. No, it was like for a game and a half. He played a little bit better, and then it kind of just fell back to where he was, back to his old ways, back to his old habits. And that's who Garrett Bradbury is. And we just finally saw him. One guy we haven't seen yet, and we may never see him, depending if the Vikings draft this position, is quarterback Kellen Mond.
Kellen Mond, the way I look at this, if they draft any quarterback, I don't care if it's around what round it is. I don't care if it's the last pick in round 7, then Kellen Mond should be concerned. Not that he's going to lose his spot, but the fact that they got Mannion, Yippee, Cousins, Mond, but they really have no reason to add somebody in the mix here. There's no point.
Well, if they do, I mean, I'm not too worried about a round 7 guy coming. That's probably just a practice squad guy they can develop over a couple of years.
No, that's Sean Mannion who's going to be on our practice squad.
If I'm Kellen Mond, but I would be, because it just shows, and they're going to get a look at him. I think the Vikings have practice on Monday. They have their first team, whatever activities, whatever the hell they call it this time of year. They're going to get a look at Kellen Mond, and if they see him and they still go with quarterback early, if I'm Kellen Mond, I'm seeing if I can get out of here, get cut, and if I have my agent start looking at some other options for me.
Wow. There we go. We got one more. Another guy kind of like Armond Watts as of now is slated to be a starter, and that is cornerback, number 3, Cam Danzler.
Yeah, Cam Danzler. The guy who has shown some good flashes, has shown some very, very bad flashes as well. But the Vikings go like a Derek Singley at pick 12. Who's going to get bumped out from the starting spot? It's going to be Cam Danzler. It's not going to be Patrick Peterson. You're going to have the 2 LSU boys. And Derek Stingley's going to start. Sauce Gardner's going to start. Let's not kid ourselves there. So Cam Danzler would lose his starting spot. He'd be relegated to a backup. It proves the Vikings' cornerback depth, obviously. But for Cam Danzler, it's not going to be good. And he's really going to be watching round 1 closely, because his job is basically depending on what the Vikings do at pick 12.
Yeah, and just like Armond Watts, I don't think it's just round 1, guys. I mean, anywhere in that round 1 to 3, Cam Danzler, he actually played pretty well last year, but should be a little worried. Yeah,
I mean, it depends who they get. I mean, there's guys in round 2 and 3 you can get a little more projects and guys who aren't ready to get on the field right away. So it depends who that player would be.
Would you consider Cam Danzler still a project, though? I mean, I don't think he's by any means a finished product. So I think it's pretty neck and neck if there's a round 3, 2, 3 guy.
He's got 2 years experience. A guy has to be like
Garrett Bradberry has experience.
Who's ready to come on. I'm talking about the guy who they draft has to be ready to come on, step on the field from day one, and not everybody's ready to do that. So we'll see how that shakes out. But yeah, Cam Danzler, he might not be starting after April 28th, 29th, and the 30th.
Lord. There you have it. Speaking of bad flashes, Lupagus, after sometimes a couple beers, he throws the fellas a bad flash. It's disastrous.
Yeah, I'm trying to work my way out of that, but every now and then.
Tough to look at.
Well, I don't know. I get pretty good reviews. The age of cell phone has killed my bad flashes.
Yeah, it really has. It has. Those are our 5 guys that should be a little nervous as far as the draft and losing their spot, losing some playing time. Let us know comments below who you think should be a little scared.
Hell yeah. And speaking of spots, it's not too late to get your spot, or is it in the Patreon
mock draft? It's full.
It's full. No more spots left, but look for it. It's going to be amazing. We'll probably do another one before the draft, though.
We will.
All right.
So still definitely hit up that Patreon page.
All right. Until then, remember this. There's no evidence that pirates ever said, "Arr," or "Shiver me timbers."